Welcome to the Phoenix Project. My name is Jennifer. If episode 1 was the story and episode 2 was the psychology, episode 3 is the rebuild. And I want to say this clearly from the beginning. Rebuilding is not dramatic. It's not cinematic. It doesn't feel powerful at first. It feels quiet. It feels slow. And sometimes it feels boring. After I completely spiraled out of control again, I had left my mom's house and took off to Texas to rescue the woman from the Love's parking lot out of the industry I was so desperately trying to move on from. There was no pause, no hesitation, no internal break, no moment of slow down. That's what dysregulation looks like. It doesn't feel chaotic in the moment. It feels urgent. It feels necessary. If I'm honest, I wasn't just trying to rescue her. I was trying to rescue myself from stillness, from boredom, from sitting with my own instability. I was trying to outrun an identity I no longer wanted, and I didn't want to face the CPTSD episodes that had started surfacing. The flashbacks, the body memories, the moments where I would be standing in a completely safe room and suddenly my heart would start racing. My hands would feel cold, my chest would tighten, and for a few seconds I wasn't fully in the present. I was back in a hotel room, back on the road, back in survival mode. There was no visible danger, but my body didn't know that. That's how trauma is stored, not just in memory, but in the body. Trauma isn't just something you remember, it's something your nervous system rehearses over and over, long after the danger has passed. Your brain may understand you're safe, but your body may not. Your body learned patterns, tension in the shoulders, scanning the room for exits, sleeping lightly, holding your breath without realizing it, flinching at certain tones of voice, freezing when you want to speak. That's not weakness, that's wiring. Your nervous system adapted to survive. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And when you live in those states long enough, they become baseline. Calm feels foreign, stillness feels suspicious, silence feels unsafe. For years, my body lived in hypervigilance, even when I wasn't in danger, even when I was alone, even when nothing was happening. My heart would race, my stomach would tighten, my hands would go cold, my jaw would clench. And there were nights I would wake up startled, screaming, terrified, not because something was in the room, but because something was still in my nervous system. Healing that isn't about thinking positive. It's about retraining the body, slowly, intentionally, repetitively. You don't think your way out of trauma. You teach your body safety again. For me, healing started with very basic things: feet flat on the floor, noticing pressure, naming 5 things I could see, 4 things I could touch, 3 things I could hear, breathing deeper than felt natural, letting my exhale be longer than my inhale. That tells your vagus nerve we are not running. It started with routine, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, eating consistently, letting my body learn predictability again. Because unpredictability was the trauma, consistency became medicine. It started with therapy. That wasn't just talking, but understanding how my nervous system works, realizing that what I thought was weakness was survival wiring. And slowly, very slowly, my body began to believe I wasn't in danger anymore. I wasn't on the road. I wasn't in a hotel room. I wasn't in survival mode. After that spiral, I entered a human trafficking safe house, and I remember the first week clearly. I expected shame, but what I felt first was relief. Relief that I didn't have to edit my story. Relief that I could speak freely. Relief that no one was trying to control the narrative. And strangely, gratitude. Because when I heard some of the other women's stories, I realized how fortunate I was to be alive. But safe houses don't regulate brain chemistry. Diagnosis doesn't equal stability overnight. Finding the right combination of antidepressants and mood stabilizers took time, adjustments, side effects, waiting periods, trying again. And I was trying to get chemically healthy while still physically living a chaotic life. You can't regulate internally if your external life stays unstable. So I had to stop moving, and that was harder than leaving the men. For over a decade, I had been bouncing: Florida, Vegas, North Carolina, back again. Sometimes 2 or 3 moves in a year. I never finished a lease. I told myself I was evolving, but I was dysregulated. And when I stopped moving, I felt claustrophobic. Stillness felt unsafe. When the chaos stops, you don't automatically feel peace. Sometimes you feel bored. Sometimes you feel empty. Sometimes you feel like something is missing. Because for years, intensity was my baseline. Adrenaline was normal. Drama was stimulation. So when life became quiet, my body didn't recognize it as safety. It felt like withdrawal. I had to detox from intensity. After I came home and chose to stay put, something else shifted. For years, my appearance had been currency. It opened doors, it bought protection, it earned approval, it created leverage. And when your body becomes currency, you stop seeing it as home. You see it as a tool. I was very good at using it, and I was tired. So I stopped trying. I gained weight. Part of me knew exactly what I was doing. If I wasn't attractive anymore, I wouldn't be pulled back into that world. Invisibility felt safer than attention, but I was ashamed. In November of 2024, I had gastric bypass surgery, not because I hated myself, but because I wanted my body back. I had used my body as currency, then I used it as armor. I had never simply cared for it. This time, the choice was mine. I've lost over 100 pounds, but the biggest change isn't physical, it's internal. When I look in the mirror now, I don't hate myself anymore, and I don't hate the woman I was. I'm learning to understand her, to forgive her for the things that happened during a period of extreme instability and undiagnosed mental illness. Some days are easier than others, and it's ongoing. I understand those years better now. They are chapters in the story that makes up my life, but they are not the whole story. I am not defined by them. I've learned to give myself grace, compassion, patience. I've learned to edit the narrative in my head from self-deprecation to empathy, from shame to understanding, from what is wrong with you to you were surviving. The internal critic, she's quieter now, not gone, but quieter. And when the critic quiets, you stop punishing yourself. You stop sabotaging. You stop chasing chaos to feel alive. You start choosing stability. Rebuilding also means repair. Repair with my daughters, repair through consistency, showing up regulated, listening without defensiveness, letting their feelings exist even when it's uncomfortable. Self-trust didn't come back overnight. It came back in small repetitions, keeping commitments, not moving impulsively, not texting when triggered, not reinventing my life every 6 months. Self-trust is built in repetition, and repetition is quiet. If you're listening to this and you're in chaos right now, if you're ashamed, if you don't trust yourself, if you feel like you've ruined everything, you can survive this. But more than that, there is a voice inside you. It may barely be a whisper, but it's there. It says, "This isn't right. I deserve better. Stop running." That whisper saved me, not dramatically, not loudly, quietly. And rebuilding began the moment I listened. Listen to the whisper. That's where we turn pain into purpose. If you'd like to connect, collaborate, or share feedback, you can reach me at phoenixprojectvoices@gmail.com. Please note, I'm not able to provide crisis support or one-on-one counseling, but I deeply appreciate thoughtful messages and connection. This is the Phoenix Project, where we turn pain into purpose. We're just